Now, while I can't remember the title of the book, nor what it was even about, one point that the author did make has always stood out to me, which is this. If C.S. Lewis had attempted to get his famous book, Mere Christianity, published today, it would get rejected by the Christian publishers. Why? Well, because it would be deemed too dry and academic for the modern Christian reader. And likewise, the author went on to contend, so too the Apostle Paul's famous letter to the Romans. You see, Paul was addressing a very complex issue. Were the Jewish believers, given their Jewish ancestry and heritage, spiritually superior to non-Jewish believers? In other words, did the non-Jewish believers who made up the bulk of Christians in Rome need to come under the spiritual authority of the Jewish believers there? After all, God had made Abraham, whom Christianity could ultimately be traced back to, the biological father of the Jewish race. God had specifically chosen the Jews to be his people. God had the Jews build his only temple, and only they were allowed in its inner courts. And last but certainly not least, God had entrusted the Jews to be the guardians of his most holy law. So to the Jewish believers in Rome, it was an open and shut case. In writing his letter to the Romans, Paul stated that now under the new covenant, those things no longer mattered. In chapter 4, he went right to the heart of the matter, explaining that Abraham was not made right before God because of his heritage or his ancestry. Not because Abraham obeyed the law, because the law hadn't even been written yet. Nor was it because Abraham was circumcised, because that too would happen later. Abraham was made right before God because when God promised Abraham that he would become the father of many nations, even though Abraham and his wife Sarah were far beyond childbearing years, Abraham believed God. And likewise, Paul contended that being a Christian doesn't depend upon our race, our culture, our ethnicity, our ancestry. What matters is that we have placed our faith in what Christ accomplished on the cross. Thanks for watching.